My name is Diego, and I was there when Rachel's story changed forever. It was a brisk October day in 2023, the air heavy with anticipation as Rachel faced a painful crossroads. He stood in the middle of a quiet cafe downtown, his heart racing as he prepared to confront his ex-wife about the hidden truths that had begun to unravel his world. He smiled, but the tension in his shoulders told a different story, the weight of unspoken words pressing down on him. The smell of rain on the pavement seeped through the open window, mingling with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Distant traffic created a muffled symphony of life outside, but inside, an unyielding silence surrounded them. He felt a surge of strength as he gathered his thoughts, determined to reclaim his narrative. Yet, despite his resolve, he trembled, caught between hope and despair. How can blood turn to poison like this? What nobody knew was that this conversation would set off a chain of events that neither of them could have foreseen, leading to a revelation that would change everything. Diego had thought he knew the depths of their shared history, the secrets that lay buried beneath the surface, but as he prepared to speak, he realized that there were truths he had never even considered, truths he thought didn't exist. Little did he know, this moment would unearth not just the past, but also the unexpected future that awaited them both. Rachel stood on the porch, the morning sun casting a warm glow over her neighborhood. The gentle sound of birds chirping filled the air, creating a serene backdrop to her bustling thoughts. Today was Sunday, and as she took a moment to breathe in the aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafting from the kitchen, she felt a familiar sense of comfort wash over her. It was a ritual she cherished, a moment that marked the start of her favorite day of the week. With a sigh, she turned back inside, where the kitchen was alive with activity. A stack of pancakes sizzled on the griddle, their golden edges curling just right. Rachel poured a generous amount of syrup over them, the sticky sweetness reminding her of lazy weekends spent with her family. Each pancake flipped was a labor of love, a symbol of her devotion as a wife and mother. "Oh my God, these are going to be perfect," she said to herself, a smile creeping across her face. After breakfast, she and her husband, Mark, helped their daughter, Lily, get ready for her school play. The living room was a whirlwind of excitement, filled with colorful costumes and scattered props. Rachel adjusted Lily's princess tiara, her heart swelling with pride. "You're going to be amazing, sweetheart," she exclaimed, leaning down to give her a hug. The warmth of the moment enveloped them both, a snapshot of what Rachel believed was a perfect family life. As they arrived at the school auditorium, the crowd buzzed with anticipation. Rachel squeezed Mark's hand, her pulse quickening. She glanced around, spotting familiar faces among the audience, each one a testament to the tight-knit community they had built over the years. The smell of popcorn filled the air, mingling with the faint scent of paint from the backdrop. "Look at all these parents," Rachel mused, her excitement bubbling over. "I can't believe how many people came to support the kids." Mark leaned in closer, his voice low. "It's great to see everyone out here. They really love these events." Rachel nodded, grateful for his presence, even if a tiny voice in the back of her mind wondered if he was truly invested in their family as much as she was. The play began, and Rachel cheered enthusiastically, her heart swelling with joy as she watched Lily perform on stage. Each line her daughter delivered was met with applause, filling Rachel with a sense of pride that was almost overwhelming. This was what she had dreamed of, her family, united, happy, and thriving. But as the performance unfolded, a nagging thought crept into her mind, a whisper of unease that she couldn't quite shake. "Did you see that? Lily was incredible!" Rachel exclaimed as they made their way to the car afterward. Mark smiled, but there was something in his eyes, a flicker of something that made her heart sink. "Yeah, she was great," he replied, his tone nonchalant. Cultural reflection, in the porch, it hurt like strength. Rachel pushed the thought aside, willing herself to focus on the joy of the moment. They drove home, the chatter of Lily recounting her performance filling the car, drowning out the unease that simmered in the back of Rachel's mind. Later that evening, as Rachel sat on the porch sipping her coffee, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue across the neighborhood, but the beauty of it felt distant. She replayed the day's events in her mind, searching for clues. Suddenly, Lisa, her sister, called. "Hey Rachel, I just heard something about Mark." Lisa's voice was hesitant, almost conspiratorial. "I don't want to alarm you, but I think you should know." "What do you mean?" Rachel's heart raced. I heard he's been spending time with someone else. Just be careful, okay?" Rachel's breath hitched. "I can't believe this," she whispered, the world around her fading away. The smell of coffee that had once brought her comfort now felt like a bitter reminder of her precarious reality. Thought, the smell of pancakes brought painful memories. "Thanks for telling me, Lisa," Rachel said, though her mind was reeling. She had trusted Mark implicitly, never suspecting he could betray her in such a way. As she hung up, the weight of her sister's words hung heavy in the air. She stared out into the distance, her heart racing, realizing she had been blind to the cracks forming in her seemingly perfect life. For a fleeting moment, Rachel felt a surge of strength, a resolve to confront Mark. But with that strength came the fear of what she might uncover. The thought of betrayal cut deeper than any knife, and yet she knew she had to face the truth. The idyllic image of her family was beginning to crumble, and Rachel found herself standing on the brink of a revelation that would change everything. Rachel took a deep breath, her fingers tightening around the coffee mug as she fought to quell the storm brewing inside her. The distant hum of traffic echoed in the background, a reminder of the world continuing on, oblivious to her turmoil. She glanced at the porch swing, its gentle sway mirroring the uncertainty in her heart. Just then, the front door swung open, and Mark stepped out, his face brightening as he spotted her. "Hey, how was your chat with Lisa?" He moved closer, his casual demeanor a stark contrast to the tension that gripped her. "Fine," Rachel replied, her voice barely above a whisper. She searched his eyes for any sign of the truth, but all she saw was the warmth she had always known. I just heard some things." Mark's brow furrowed, concern flickering across his features. "What things? You're worrying me." Rachel hesitated, the words lodged in her throat. "Things about you," she finally managed, her heart racing. The air thickened with unspoken truths, and she felt the weight of her sister's warning pressing down on her. "About me?" He chuckled lightly, but it sounded forced, the laughter hanging uncomfortably in the air. "What did Lisa say?" Rachel's mind raced. She couldn't bear to blurt it out, yet the silence stretched between them, heavy and loaded. "Just rumors," she said, choosing her words carefully. "You know how people can be." Mark's expression shifted, a shadow crossing his face. "Rachel? You know, I would never." "Wouldn't you?" she interrupted, her voice rising with emotion. "I just want the truth, Mark. If there's something going on, I need to know." For a moment, they stood there, the sun dipping lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the porch. The air felt electric, charged with unspoken fears and hidden doubts. Mark's gaze softened, and he stepped closer, reaching for her hand. "I love you, Rachel. You know that." The sincerity in his voice made her heart flutter, but doubt still gnawed at her. "Then why do I feel like I don't even know you anymore?" Mark's silence spoke volumes, and Rachel felt the ground beneath her begin to shift. The warmth of the evening sun felt distant now, overshadowed by the chilling possibility of betrayal. The living room buzzed with the sounds of chirping birds outside, a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside Rachel's heart. She had been enjoying a peaceful afternoon, her thoughts drifting lazily like the clouds overhead, until the gentle warmth of her world began to chill. It all started at the company event last night, where the laughter of Mark and a female colleague floated across the room like a siren's call, pulling Rachel into a web of doubt. "Oh my God," she muttered under her breath, recalling the way they leaned in close, their voices dipping into a conspiratorial whisper. Each giggle felt like a dagger twisting in her gut. She couldn't shake the unease that settled over her like a heavy fog. Mark had always been charming, and she had loved that about him. But now, that very charm felt like a mask hiding something sinister. The next day, a bright Saturday morning, Rachel busied herself with breakfast, flipping pancakes in an effort to push aside the gnawing thoughts. The sweet scent of syrup filled the air as she set the table, but her heart wasn't in it. Something felt off, a dissonance that tugged at her with every clatter of dishes. Mark had promised he would be home early from the gym, but as the hours slipped by, she found herself anxiously tapping her fingers against the table. When the door finally creaked open, Rachel looked up, her heart racing. Mark stepped in, his usual carefree demeanor intact. "Hey babe, you won't believe the workout I just had," he called out, oblivious to the storm brewing behind her forced smile. "Yeah, I overheard you and that new girl Sarah last night," Rachel said, trying to sound nonchalant. The words felt heavy on her tongue, but she needed to know where he stood. Mark froze for a moment, the smile faltering. "Oh, that? We were just joking around. You know how it is," he replied, brushing off her concern with an easy laugh that didn't quite reach his eyes. But Rachel wasn't convinced. She could feel the tension in the air, a taut string ready to snap. After breakfast, as Mark settled onto the couch, Rachel decided to clean up. As she tidied up, her fingers brushed against the fabric of his coat hanging by the door. An old habit kicked in. She reached into the pocket, half expecting to find nothing of interest. Instead, her hand closed around a crumpled napkin, and as she pulled it out, the unmistakable mark of bright red lipstick smudged across its surface made her heart sink. "Mark," she called, her voice trembling slightly. He turned, the playful light in his eyes dimming as he noticed the napkin clutched in her hand. "What's that?" he asked, though the slight hitch in his voice gave away his unease. "Don't play dumb," Rachel snapped, holding it up for him to see. "Whose lipstick is this?" It must be a mistake, a friend's or something," he stammered, his casual facade cracking. "A friend? Really?" Rachel's voice rose, fueled by a mix of anger and hurt. "You think I'm going to believe that? It was just a harmless night out. You're overreacting," he shot back, but there was an edge of desperation in his tone. Rachel shook her head, the reality settling like a weight on her chest. "No, Mark, I can't do this anymore. My heart sank when I found this. This isn't just a mistake, it's a betrayal." The room fell silent, the tension thickening like the smell of freshly mown grass wafting through the open window. In the living room, it hurt like betrayal. Mark looked cornered, a flash of anger igniting in his eyes. "You're making this worse than it is, Rachel. You need to trust me." "Trust you?" she echoed incredulously. "After what I just found, I can't even look at you right now." In that moment, she felt the ground shift beneath her feet. It wasn't just the lipstick that shook her foundation. It was the realization that Lisa, her own sister, had been the one to encourage Mark's flirtation. She had seen the two of them together at that same event, and the way Lisa had smirked at her from across the room suddenly made sense. That moment in the living room changed everything. "Rachel, please," Mark pleaded, his voice softer now, almost desperate. "Don't do this. I love you." The words felt hollow in the air between them, and Rachel took a step back, shaking her head. "I can't be in love with someone who doesn't respect me. I won't be a fool." The reality of her sister's betrayal hit her like a freight train, and for the first time, she felt truly alone. The laughter from last night echoed in her mind, mixing with the painful truth she had to confront. As she stood there, the weight of her heartache crashing down, Rachel knew she had to find her strength, even if it meant facing the hardest truths of all. Rachel took a deep breath. "We need to have a serious conversation." Mark tensed up.
About what, exactly? Rachel stood in the kitchen, the smell of fresh grass wafting in through the open window, mingling with the scent of apple pie baking in the oven. It was a picture-perfect morning, yet a storm brewed within her. She stirred the pancake batter absent-mindedly, the rhythmic motion almost calming her racing heart. But as the memories of the company event replayed in her mind, the unease tightened like a noose around her chest. She glanced at her phone, a sense of dread creeping in as she considered the discrepancies she'd noted. Mark had been evasive, his charming smile hiding a world of secrets. "Oh my God," she whispered to herself, shaking her head as if to rid herself of the thoughts. "I can't believe this." Gathering her resolve, Rachel decided it was time to confront him. She set the spatula down and took a deep breath. The kitchen felt both familiar and foreign, a space filled with love but now tainted by doubt. "I need to know," she muttered, her heart sinking further as she imagined the conversation that awaited her. When Mark arrived home, she found him lounging on the couch, casually flipping through channels. The sight of him, so comfortable and unaware, ignited the anger simmering beneath the surface. "Mark, we need to talk," Rachel said, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside her. He looked up, feigning concern. "About what, babe?" He leaned back, a smirk playing on his lips, as if he had nothing to hide. "I've seen the way you've been acting lately," she pressed, crossing her arms defiantly. "You've been distant. What's going on?" "Oh, come on, Rachel. You're just overthinking things," Mark replied, shrugging it off like a light jacket on a warm day. "I've been busy with work. You know how it is." "I know you've been busy, but it feels like there's something more," Rachel insisted, her voice rising. "Is there someone else?" "Seriously? You're going to accuse me of cheating?" His tone shifted, turning defensive, but she noticed the flicker of something in his eyes, a hint of guilt. "You're imagining things." "No, I'm not," she shot back, her hands trembling slightly. "I saw you at the event with that woman. You were too close. I need you to be honest with me." He sighed, the mask of charm slipping just enough for her to see the cracks. "It was nothing, just a work thing. You're reading too much into it," he said, but the reassurance felt hollow. Rachel's heart raced as he brushed her concerns aside. It was infuriating, but deep down, she felt her intuition struggling to break free. In that moment, she realized she needed more than just his words. She needed proof. "Fine," she said, her voice suddenly cold. "If you won't tell me the truth, I'll find out for myself." After Mark retreated to their bedroom, she grabbed her phone and dialed Lisa. "I need your help. I think Mark's hiding something, and I can't shake the feeling that he's cheating," Rachel explained, her voice trembling slightly. Lisa's laughter echoed through the line, laced with an edge of mockery. "You really think he'd cheat on you? You're the perfect wife, Rachel." "Maybe that's exactly why he would," Rachel replied, frustration boiling over. "Can you help or not?" Okay. "Let me see what I can dig up," Lisa said, her tone shifting from amusement to intrigue. "I'll check his social media. There's always something on there." Rachel hung up, her stomach in knots. She spent the next few hours pacing the kitchen, the distant sound of traffic outside a reminder of the life she thought she knew. The apple pie in the oven began to burn, but she hardly noticed. She was too focused on the storm brewing within her heart. When Lisa finally called back, Rachel's pulse quickened. "You won't believe what I found," Lisa said, her voice breathless with excitement. "Mark's been posting about these business trips, but in the background you can see locations that don't match up with his work schedule." "Are you serious?" Rachel gasped, her heart racing. "What do you mean?" "There are pictures of him at a restaurant, and a couple of them have a woman in them. It's not just work dinners, Rachel. It looks like he's been on dates," Lisa revealed, her tone shifting from playful to serious. Rachel felt the blood drain from her face. "I can't believe this." My heart sank. "All this time. I was right." "Rachel, you need to confront him with this," Lisa urged, her voice firm. "You deserve to know the truth." "Yeah, I know," Rachel whispered, a mix of anger and betrayal flooding through her. "But I think I'll let him dig his own grave first." In that moment, the gravity of the situation settled over her like a heavy blanket. The kitchen, once a sanctuary, felt like a cage. She was determined, but the thought of facing Mark again filled her with dread. Would he continue to deny it? Would he try to charm his way out of it again? But this time, she would be ready. As she glanced at the half-burned pie, she felt a flicker of hope. The truth was out there, and she was finally willing to uncover it. "I can't believe you did this!" Rachel exclaimed. Mark tried to explain, but words failed him. The air on the porch was thick with tension, mingling with the fresh scent of rain-soaked pavement. Rachel sat in silence, the rhythmic chirping of the birds around her a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside. The family gathering had been loud and jovial just moments ago, but now she found herself clutching Mark's phone, her heart racing with anxiety. It was an innocent moment of carelessness on his part, one she never expected would lead her down this dark path. With trembling hands, she swiped through the messages. Each notification felt like a dagger to her heart, each flirty exchange a nail in the coffin of her marriage. "Oh my God," she whispered, the words escaping her lips like a prayer. How could he? The laughter and chatter of their friends faded into a distant echo as the screen illuminated the truth she had feared. There it was, clear as day, Mark's words, dripping with affection for someone who wasn't her. Just as the last remnants of her denial crumbled, Mark re-entered the porch. A warm smile plastered across his face, but that smile faltered when he caught sight of her expression, a mixture of disbelief and betrayal. Rachel stood up, the phone clenched in her fist, her voice barely above a whisper, yet steady with resolve. "We need to talk," she said, her heart sinking further with each word. Mark's brow furrowed, confusion evident. "What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost." "Don't play dumb, Mark. I found your texts." Rachel felt her pulse race, the anger bubbling just beneath the surface, threatening to erupt. She thrust the phone toward him, her finger jabbing at the screen as if the force of her gesture could somehow drive the point home. Who is she? For a moment, silence enveloped them, thick and suffocating. The birds outside seemed to hold their breath, the world around them stilling as if anticipating the fallout. Mark took a step back, his expression shifting from confusion to guilt. "Rachel, it's not what it looks like." Her heart raced, a wild drum in her chest. "Not what it looks like? You're flirting with another woman. You've been lying to me." Each word felt like a weight lifted, and yet the heaviness of betrayal settled deeper into her bones. Mark sighed, running a hand through his hair, his charm slipping like a mask. "It was just a phase. We were going through a rough patch, and I didn't mean for it to go this far." "Just a phase?" Rachel laughed bitterly, the sound bitter and foreign. "This is not some teenage crush, Mark. You've been unfaithful." He stepped closer, his voice dropping to a softer, almost pleading tone. "I never meant to hurt you. I thought we could get through this. You're everything to me." "Everything?" Rachel's voice cracked, the irony slicing through her. "If I'm everything, then why did you choose someone else?" The weight of her words hung in the air, as if the universe itself paused to take note. Rachel's thoughts raced, a flood of memories flashing before her. The life they built together, the laughter, the dreams. She had been so absorbed in maintaining the facade of their perfect life that she had ignored the cracks forming beneath the surface. In that moment, the reality of her marriage shattered like glass. "Mark, I can't do this anymore. I deserve better than a half-hearted apology and a promise that this was just a mistake." Mark's expression shifted, a mix of desperation and realization washing over him. "Wait, Rachel, please, let's talk about this. I can fix it." But Rachel shook her head, the finality of her decision hitting her like a wave. "You don't get it. It's not just about fixing it.
You broke something that can't be repaired." The air was thick with unspoken words, the silence between them heavy with the weight of their crumbling relationship. Rachel took a deep breath, her chest rising and falling as she fought back tears. "I can't believe this is happening. My heart sank the moment I saw those messages, and I wish I could go back to that moment before I knew." Mark stepped forward, desperation etched on his face. "I love you, Rachel. I didn't mean for this to happen." "Love?" Rachel's voice was a mix of scorn and disbelief. "Real love doesn't look like this. You had a choice, and you chose betrayal." She turned away, the warmth of the porch feeling like a distant memory, the smell of rain now a bitter reminder of her loss. As she walked inside, leaving Mark standing on the porch, she felt a strange sense of strength wash over her. In the midst of her heartbreak, she understood that she was reclaiming her narrative. No longer would she be the woman waiting in the shadows, hoping for change. She was stepping into the light, ready to face whatever came next, even if it meant letting go of the man she once thought she knew. "Oh my God," Rachel whispered in disbelief. "I can explain everything," Mark said desperately. The living room felt suffocating, the air thick with the weight of unsaid words. Rachel sat on the couch, the soft fabric cool against her skin, but her heart was racing. The sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating the dust particles dancing in the air, yet it did nothing to lighten her mood. Instead, it felt like the world was mocking her, a stark contrast to the chaos brewing inside. After finding the flirty messages on Mark's phone, she had decided enough was enough. The betrayal wasn't just a fleeting moment, it was a gaping wound that needed to be addressed. She had taken to documenting everything: dates, times, snippets of conversations. Each note felt like a stone added to the wall she was building against him. Rachel felt empowered in her pain, transforming it into a strategic plan for confrontation. With every detail she recorded, her heart sank a little less, the anger fueling her resolve. She remembered the support group meeting she had attended last week. The room had been filled with women sharing their stories, each voice echoing the familiar pang of betrayal. As they spoke, Rachel's heart began to soften, the solidarity washing over her like a warm embrace. "You have to remember your worth," one woman had said, her voice steady and strong. Rachel had nodded, feeling a flicker of hope ignite within her. Those words echoed in her mind now, urging her to push through the heartache and reclaim her life. In that moment of reflection, she thought of Mark and the facade he had maintained. The charming husband who had woven a web of deceit. How had she been so blind? She thought back to their last barbecue, laughter bubbling in the air, the scent of grilled chicken mingling with the sweet smell of corn on the cob. It had all felt so perfect, so normal, but it was all a lie, and her heart ached at the thought. Suddenly, she heard the familiar chirping of birds outside, their songs a stark contrast to the turmoil inside her. Preserve the original language of the text, the smell of rain on pavement wafting through the open window, reminding her of cleansing storms. This was the calm before the storm, she realized. She could feel it in her bones. The confrontation was inevitable. Just then, Tom walked in, his presence a comforting anchor. He paused, taking in the tension that filled the room. "Hey, how are you holding up?" he asked gently, his eyes searching hers. Rachel forced a smile, but it faltered. "I'm working on it," she replied, her voice barely a whisper. She knew he could see through her bravado. Tom had always been there, trying to support her, even when it felt like he was struggling with his own emotions. "You know I'm here for you, right?" Tom said, his tone earnest. "You don't have to go through this alone." Rachel felt a warmth spread through her chest. "I appreciate that, Tom, I really do, but I have to face this on my own. I need to know the truth and stand up for myself." Tom nodded, a hint of sadness in his eyes. "Just don't forget that you deserve happiness too." His words lingered in the air as Rachel's thoughts drifted back to Mark. The confrontation needed to happen soon, before she lost her courage. The idea of confronting him sent a shiver down her spine, a mixture of fear and determination bubbling up inside her. That night, as she prepared for bed, Rachel reviewed her notes one last time. The details were precise, a testament to her resolve. Each entry represented a moment of betrayal, but also a step towards her liberation. The thought of facing Mark filled her with a strange strength. She was done being the victim. It was time to reclaim her narrative. As she lay in bed, the soft hum of the night enveloping her, Rachel felt a surge of empowerment wash over her. She could hear the distant rumble of thunder, a promise of the storm to come. It mirrored her own brewing tempest, and she welcomed it. The confrontation would be hard, but it was necessary. She was ready to dig deep and unearth the truth, no matter how painful it might be. The next day, as she sat on the porch, the smell of rain lingered in the air, mixing with the earthy scent of wet grass. It was a fresh start, a new beginning. Rachel glanced at her phone, the screen still lit with the damning messages. This time, she didn't feel the familiar pang of heartbreak. Instead, she felt a sense of clarity. "Mark," she would say, steadying her voice, "we need to talk." And with those words, she would finally take control of her life, confronting the truth that had been lurking in the shadows for far too long. The storm was coming, and she was ready to face it head-on. The morning sun peeked through the clouds, casting a soft golden glow over the dew-kissed grass. Rachel inhaled deeply, allowing the fresh, crisp air to fill her lungs. She could hear the faint rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze, a calming backdrop to the storm brewing within her. Today was the day. Today, she would confront Mark, and she felt an odd mix of dread and exhilaration. "Rachel?" Tom's voice broke through her thoughts, pulling her back to the present. He stepped out onto the porch, a steaming cup of coffee in hand. "You okay?" She turned to him, managing a half smile. "Just thinking about everything." Tom leaned against the railing, his brow furrowed with concern. "You don't have to do this alone. You know I'm just a call away, right?" "I know," she replied, her voice steady despite the turmoil. "But I need to do this for myself. I can't keep living in this shadow." He nodded, understanding flickering in his eyes. "You're stronger than you think, Rachel. Just remember that." As he took a sip of his coffee, Rachel's gaze drifted back to the street. The neighborhood was quiet, but she could feel the anticipation buzzing in the air. She could almost hear the birds gossiping in the trees, chirping their own version of encouragement. "Do you think I'm being too dramatic?" she asked suddenly, the vulnerability slipping through her guarded exterior. "No," Tom replied firmly. "You're being real. This is your life, and you deserve to have your feelings validated. It's okay to be upset." Rachel felt a warmth spread through her, grounding her. "Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate you being here." As the minutes ticked by, the sun broke free from the clouds, illuminating the porch with a warm light. The world outside seemed vibrant and alive, a stark contrast to the weight in her chest. She glanced at her phone again. The messages were still there, glaring up at her like a challenge. "Time to face the music," she whispered to herself, the determination hardening her resolve. "Are you ready?" Tom asked, his voice low, sensing her shift in energy. Rachel took a deep breath, nodding slowly. "As ready as I'll ever be." With one last look at the sunlit street, she stood up, her heart pounding in her chest. It was time. She would not allow fear to dictate her life any longer. Today, she would reclaim her narrative, step into her power, and face the storm head-on. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the backyard. Rachel set the table with a careful precision, placing plates and silverware that seemed to gleam in the fading light. She wanted everything to look perfect for the family dinner, an evening that was supposed to be a celebration of togetherness. Yet, beneath her composed exterior, a tempest churned. As she stirred the apple pie filling, the sweet aroma wafted through the air, mingling with the fresh scent of cut grass.
Birds chirped cheerfully in the distance, a stark contrast to the heavy weight in Rachel's heart. She took a deep breath, hoping to draw strength from the scene around her. "This is going to work," she whispered to herself, trying to drown out the doubts whispering in her mind. Tom arrived early, his face reflecting a mix of concern and determination. "Hey, Rachel," he said, his voice low. "Are you sure about this?" Rachel turned, meeting his gaze. "I have to do this, Tom. I need him to face the truth, and I can't let him manipulate me anymore." Tom nodded, though his brow furrowed with worry. "Just be careful. You know how Mark can be." As the evening wore on, Rachel felt the tension building like a storm cloud ready to burst. Mark arrived with their daughter, Emily, his usual charming smile in place, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing beneath the surface. "Wow, smells amazing, Rachel," he called out, ruffling Emily's hair as they walked into the backyard. "Thanks, Mark," Rachel replied, forcing a smile. "I made your favorite." The dinner commenced under the guise of normalcy, laughter filling the air as Emily shared stories from school. Yet Rachel's mind raced, her heart pounding louder with every passing moment. She exchanged glances with Tom, silently seeking reassurance. Reflection. The backyard, once a sanctuary? "Dad, can I help with the pie?" Emily asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Of course, sweetheart," Mark replied, kneeling down to her level. Rachel watched, her gut tightening as they shared a moment of warmth that felt so misplaced. When the time was right, Rachel cleared her throat, the tension palpable. "Mark, can we talk about something important?" He looked up, surprise flickering across his face. "Sure, what's on your mind?" Taking a deep breath, she summoned every ounce of courage. "I know about your affair." The words hung in the air, heavy and charged. Mark's face shifted from surprise to defensive anger. "What are you talking about? That's ridiculous." Rachel stood her ground, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "I have proof, Mark. I've seen the messages. I know about Lisa." Emily's eyes widened, confusion etched on her small face. "What's happening, Mom?" "Just a grown-up conversation, honey," Rachel said, trying to shield her daughter from the fallout. Mark's charm evaporated, replaced by a desperate facade. "You're making a huge mistake, Rachel. I would never betray you." Rachel leaned closer, her heart racing. "Oh my God, Mark, you think I'd just make this up? I've documented everything." She pulled out her phone, the screen illuminating her evidence, a collage of dates and conversations that painted a picture too vivid to ignore. The color drained from Mark's face as he glanced at the screen. "You shouldn't have done this," he hissed, the anger in his voice faltering. "Why? So you could keep lying?" Rachel shot back, her heart sinking as she felt the weight of the betrayal pressing down on her. "You think I wanted to confront you like this? You made this choice, not me." Tom stepped forward, his presence solid and supportive. "Mark, it's time to own up to what you've done. This isn't just about you anymore." Mark glanced at Tom, a flicker of something dark crossing his features. "Stay out of this, Tom. You have no idea what you're talking about." "I know enough," Tom replied, his voice firm. "Rachel deserves better than this." In that moment, Rachel felt a surge of strength coursing through her, fueled by the support of her best friend. "You've built a lies, Mark. I won't let you continue to deceive me or our daughter. I deserve the truth, and so does Emily." Mark's bravado crumbled, leaving behind a man stripped bare of his defenses. "I didn't mean for it to happen, Rachel. It just happened." "Is that supposed to make it okay?" Rachel's voice rose, the anger spilling forth. "You've shattered my trust, and it's too late for excuses." Rachel's heart raced as she confronted the man she thought she knew, the facade crumbling before her eyes. Cultural reflection. In the backyard, it hurt like hope. Mark looked around, his charm replaced with desperation. "Please, let's talk about this privately. I can explain." "You don't understand what I was going through." "No, Mark. I understand perfectly.
You chose this." As the weight of her words sank in, Rachel felt a rush of clarity. The truth had finally emerged from the shadows, and she stood resolute, ready to reclaim her life. In that moment, she realized that she was stronger than she ever thought possible. The backyard may have once symbolized her dreams, but now it stood as a testament to her courage and resilience. "Enough!" Rachel shouted, her voice echoing. "Please, let me speak," Mark pleaded. "There's nothing left to say," Rachel finalized. The morning sun filtered through the kitchen window, casting warm light on the freshly made apple pie cooling on the counter. The sweet aroma mingled with the rich smell of brewing coffee, filling the air with a sense of comfort Rachel had desperately missed. She stood there, stirring her coffee thoughtfully, the distant sound of traffic serving as a reminder of the world outside her little bubble of newfound independence. Rachel had just moved into her own apartment, a modest space that was all hers. It felt strange at first, being alone after so long, but as she surveyed the cozy surroundings, she felt a flicker of strength ignite within her. The decision to leave Mark had been difficult, but she had finally claimed a part of her life back. The gravity of her choices weighed heavily on her, yet with each passing day, she felt a little lighter. It was a Saturday, and Rachel had decided to take a break from unpacking. Instead, she opted to reconnect with herself. She opened the door to her small balcony, letting the fresh air fill her lungs. Her phone buzzed with a message from Tom, her best friend. "Hey, want to grab lunch? I found this cute cafe nearby," he texted. Rachel smiled, her heart warmed by the thought of spending time with him. "Sure, I'll be ready in 30, she replied. As she hurried to get ready, she couldn't shake the weight of the past. The memories of Mark's betrayal lingered like a fog, but with Tom's support, she felt she could navigate through the haze. She slipped on a comfortable dress and gave herself a final glance in the mirror. "You've got this," she whispered. At the cafe, the atmosphere buzzed with laughter and clinking dishes. Tom greeted her with a warm smile that sent a jolt of comfort through her. "You look amazing, Rachel," he said, pulling out a chair for her. "Thanks, Tom. I'm trying to embrace this new chapter," she replied, her voice steady but her heart raced. As they chatted over lunch, Rachel shared stories of her new routine, morning yoga sessions, painting classes, and the thrill of being able to make her own decisions without hesitation. She could see the pride in Tom's eyes, but there was something else, something deeper. "Rachel, I've been wanting to say something," Tom began, his tone shifting. "I've always cared about you, more than just a friend. Watching you go through this has been hard for me." Her heart sank. "Oh my God, I can't believe this. I didn't know you felt that way," she stammered, caught off guard. "I didn't want to complicate things, especially after everything with Mark. But seeing you reclaim your life has made me realize how much I want to be there for you," he confessed, his gaze unwavering. Rachel felt a swell of emotions. She had been so focused on healing that she hadn't considered what was right in front of her. But she also knew she needed time to process everything. "Tom, I appreciate you so much. I'm just not ready for anything like that right now," she said softly, a mix of gratitude and hesitation in her voice. He nodded, understanding washing over his face. "I get it. I'm here for you, no matter what you need." As they finished their meal, Rachel felt an unfamiliar blend of hope and healing. She realized she had taken the first step in transforming her life, and it felt invigorating. Later, back at her apartment, she picked up the apple pie, the memories of baking with Mark flooding back. The laughter, the warmth, they had been good times overshadowed by his betrayal. Yet, in that moment, she felt empowered. Cultural reflection. In the kitchen, it hurt like strength. The smell of the pie was no longer tainted by sorrow, but instead represented resilience. She had taken the reins of her life, carving out a new path, one that was free of deceit and filled with possibilities. As she settled onto her balcony with the pie and a cup of coffee, Rachel gazed at the sunset, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. The quietude was soothing, and she embraced the solitude, knowing it was a choice she made for herself. In that serene moment, she smiled at the future that lay ahead. The unknown, no longer a source of fear, but a canvas waiting for her to paint her next masterpiece. Sometimes we have to let the past dig its own grave before we can truly live, she whispered to the evening breeze. And you, on your porch, what will you choose to bury in order to find your light? Rachel smiled for the first time in days. Everything will be okay. Mark nodded. You're stronger than you know. Rachel smiled for the first time in days. Everything will be okay. She took a deep breath, letting the cool evening air fill her lungs, as if it could carry away the remnants of her past. The soft rustle of leaves danced in the breeze, and the distant sound of laughter from neighbors mingled with the faint tinkle of wind chimes nearby. Stronger than you know, she whispered to herself again, feeling the weight of those words settle into her bones. She set the pie down on the small table and wrapped her hands around her coffee mug, feeling the warmth seep through her fingers. The comforting scent of the apple pie wafted around her, a reminder that sweetness could still exist amid the bitterness of her memories. Just then, her phone buzzed again, pulling her from her thoughts. It was a message from Tom. "Hey, how about a movie night next weekend? I'll bring the popcorn." A smile crept onto her face. The idea of cozying up with her best friend, sharing laughter and distraction, was precisely what she needed. Before she could reply, she heard a soft knock on her door. Curiosity piqued, she stood up and opened it to find her neighbor, a woman in her 30s named Clara, standing there with a warm smile and a plate of cookies. "Hi, I thought I'd introduce myself and welcome you to the building," Clara said, her voice bright. "Thank you, that's so sweet of you," Rachel replied, accepting the plate with a grateful smile. The cookies were still warm, their chocolate chips glistening in the fading sunlight. Clara stepped inside, her eyes scanning the cozy apartment. "I love what you've done with the place. It's so inviting. Do you bake often?" "Actually, I just made an apple pie," Rachel said, gesturing toward the counter. "Would you like to try some?" "Oh, I'd love to. I'm always up for a slice of pie," Clara exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. As they settled down on the balcony, Rachel felt a spark of joy. Each bite of pie brought warmth, not just from the dessert, but from the budding friendship forming in that moment. As they chatted, Rachel realized how much she longed for connections. The laughter they shared echoed in the evening air, and for the first time in a while, she felt a sense of belonging. The past was still there, but it no longer held her captive. It was just a chapter, not the entirety of her story.